So we're in Toledo, Ohio. Behind us is the Norfolk Southern business train. John Orr, Executive Vice President, Chief Operating Officer. John,
hey, Bill.
Always good to spend time with you. You know, John, I really appreciate you inviting me to ride and just get a real good behind-the-scenes look at what goes on. I've been observing how your team, you and your team, your mechanical and engineering and operating people are interacting with the field, the craft employees, and I get a good feeling from this. Honestly, I'm not just saying that.
Well, thank you, Bill. We use the business trips to really, it's like a rolling locker room to reset how we're thinking.
Oh, it's better than a locker room.
Yeah,
me.
Well, it's great, a little bit better. Maybe a New York Giants locker room, but but for me it's how we practice speak up, and we talk through issues. You don't know what's going to stimulate a point of view, but we range from collective agreement discussions to contracts with customers, demerge discussions, and really look at how do we spend capital, all these things, and it's a really dynamic environment. And I appreciate you're here because you've got such a wealth of knowledge, even tapping into what you discuss with us on the railway, the history, context. It's really fun to have you on the trip.
Well, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. And I wanted to just mention, of course, safety is very important, and I see that the attention to detail with safety, and even when you're looking at certain things, like right down to the details, like how equipment is stored and things of the slightest, you sweat the small stuff.
Yeah.
Which is what you have to do in railroading. You know the expression, oh, don't sweat the small stuff. You can't do that on a railroad.
No.
I think if you sweat the small stuff, some of the bigger stuff will take care of itself. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, Bill, I couldn't agree more. And it's funny because you have a knack for seeing things that are out of place or out of context, and being able to address them real time reinforces that you've got that personal commitment. But I'll tell you what's really fun is when I'm thinking it and one of my teammates says it first, that really tells me we've got the right alignment on safety and people have the same kind of core values. So it is something that is really, really important. And then it's the entry level on making sure other things are the right way. Even this, right now in Toledo, we're having a breakfast with a mix of labor, management, again, to just talk through things, to get kind of a kitchen table environment where you can just talk about things that are on people's minds. And it's amazing once you create that once you demonstrate the authenticity and really caring about what they've got to say, that you can do a lot of good things, including actions. And ultimately, when we see safety violations or we see things are out of place, we help people correct, and those actions reinforce that we really do care. And sometimes it costs a lot of money and you have to just spend it, and other times it's just fixing processes or helping people prioritize, and it works. So it's one of the great things about being out on the network.
Yeah, I can see the communication between the craft people, the general chairman who are here, and I do see, honestly, that there is a dialogue there, and that's what needs to happen in this industry, across the industry.
Well, I believe what we're doing here is transformation, and transformation means you have to start a lot of new things, and you have to stop some things that have been done historically. And when you have a balance and you can demonstrate commitment to either one of those things and appreciation for people doing things differently, that really makes transformation possible. And without that overt communication, without that presence, it just becomes a headline rather than actions.
Right.
And so, I think that's the cool part of what we do, Bill.
Yeah, and another thing, I'm really encouraged to see there's a lot of young people out here. Yesterday, in Elkhart, there was a young guy who had just started. And
as a yardmaster trainee.
Yardmaster trainee.
Yeah.
And what did you do? You asked him, what did you do before this? And he said, oh, I worked at Target.
Yeah.
And he comes, that's a totally different environment. I get a sense that he really feels like he's accomplishing something worthwhile. He seemed really
Yeah.
excited about what he was doing. And those are the kind of people that, that they need to stay in this industry.
Yeah,
You need to retain them.
And that's we have to figure out. And I think that's some of the beauty in our conversations when we do podcasts or we do conferences together. We talk about that next generation. And I told you quite a while ago, what drives me is building the capability of supervisors to learn PSR 2.0, to really understand what it takes to be a part of an industry that means so much to the U.S. economy and means so much to everyday people, because we deliver safe goods safely. We deliver with the lowest ESG footprint. We are less expensive than other modes of transportation, so we help keep inflation in check. There's so much that rails do, and when people come, young people especially, and they see the art of the possible in a career. I started as a conductor I was in the same shoes as that young man about 30 years ago, training as a yardmaster. And now I've got the privilege of leading operations for this great company. So yeah, it's there. And when we can be role models, as well as kind of administrators and guardians of the organization, then you've got this great 1-2 combination that helps people invest their time. Because it's a tough business. It's 24/7, 365, and we can't change that. What we can change is the environment that we create, the fulfillment that people get, the communication that helps people understand their contribution. That's the big piece. So, I don't know if you have ever had, you had a COO, a vice president, a general manager all around you, and this young man was confident.
Yes.
Like it wasn't strange for him to see us in the field. And that to me tells us that Rodney and Jazz and the whole leadership here on the North are out engaging and making people comfortable with who we are and what we do together. That's the piece.
And also, sitting in the back of the train and in the theater car, and seeing how your engineering and operating people are looking at every train going by, seeing basic stuff like it's properly balanced, and how power is distributed, and you're paying attention to that stuff. This is the kind of thing that obviously I don't see every day. Most of my day is spent looking at a computer screen. So I really appreciate this opportunity to get out on the railroad and see what you people do.
It's my pleasure, Bill. And maybe we could talk at the end of it and get your opinion on the rest of the trip, because we're going to go all the way to your home state in New Jersey.
Yes, New Jersey.
Yeah.
New Jersey.
Right? There you go.
Hey, honorary New Jerseyan, folks.
Hey, I became a U.S. citizen last month. Now I can become an honorary New Jerseyan.
Okay.
All right.
Well, that might take a little work, but
All right.
Okay, John.
Thanks,
Thank
Bill.
you again. Pleasure.
So glad to have you on board.
Okay, you're welcome.